Hi, I'm Joseph, a psychiatrist. I work at ePsychiatry, a telehealth mental health service based in Western Australia. We're in the midst of creating a series of educational mental health videos. This one is on how depression affects our thinking and decision making. If you have experienced depression or you know someone who has, you may have seen firsthand the associations between depression and thinking. Depression, by the currently used criteria to define it, is closely related to thinking. The American Psychiatric Association's definition uses terms like reduced interest, drop in pleasure, slowing of thinking, worthlessness, guilt, indecisiveness, and recurring thoughts. So, what are some of the ways depression affects our thinking? Attention. Depression is associated with poorer attention. For example, people with depression often struggle to drown out background noise or interference. Some studies have found that people with depression do poorer when it comes to sustained attention. Sustained attention is what you need when you're doing an exam or a test. It's one of the many reasons why it's harder for students to perform at their potential when they're suffering from depression. Depression affects your memory. People with depression can sometimes complain about this. Sometimes the treatments for depression can impact on how you recall things in the short term. We're hoping to post a video soon on this topic, exploring it in much more detail. Depression and decision making, this ties in with the indecisiveness which we touched on when discussing the criteria for diagnosing depression. People with depression can struggle when weighing things up, making a choice, or struggling to see the various options that they have in front of them. Executive functioning is an umbrella term that is used to describe things like planning or starting tasks and self-control. The part of your brain that does the brunt of that work is the frontal lobe, so the front part of your brain. We know from brain scans that people with depression have altered blood flow to the front part of their brain compared to people without depression. And we don't need scans to show us this. Studies conducted over 20 years ago show that people with depression struggle more when scheduling and planning tasks. So, what can you do about it? Seeing a psychologist or a therapist to help you with cognitive behavioral therapy techniques and other strategies. These techniques take time but are proven to be effective in the treatment of depression. Also, the skills that you learn in therapy can be lifelong skills that you can take with you. In a more simplistic sense, using to-do lists, breaking tasks down may help. Handling fewer decisions, if you can, asking for help from friends and family. In the morning, you might struggle with what to say, where to work, or what food to eat. Consider making clothing decisions on the weekends and eating the same thing for breakfast every morning if you struggle with that kind of thought. Sleep is incredibly important for brain health and overall well-being. Depression impacts upon sleep, which is why it's important to discuss your sleep as well with your psychiatrist and or psychologist. So that wraps up this video on depression, decision making and thinking. We will have a video out next on how depression affects memory, and then one on concentration and depression. Thank you for watching.